Bitcoin looks very bullish. When we talk about fundamentals and news, there's only good stuff coming out. Of course, we do have the Bitcoin versus the M2 global liquidity. It's still working. It has been following this like clockwork throughout the last few years, and we're just lagging behind right now with the M2 global liquidity, as you can see on this chart. Now, regarding news, there is a lot of bullish news coming out. The SEC has accepted Trump-linked Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF filling, and approval could come in just 75 days. We also see Elon Musk confirms his new political party will embrace Bitcoin, and many companies such as Meta, the blockchain group, just buying Bitcoin, and this is happening every single day. But when we do talk about the charts, it even looks more bullish. Now, this is the higher time frame looking at the daily chart from the lows of the bear market. And I get it. The bears are going to say we are just repeating 2021. And a double top here looks imminent. But I'm going to explain here how this does not look like double top price action. And it is extremely corrective. And what we're looking for here is new all-time highs, potentially in the next coming weeks, if not days. And I do get it. If you do get the bars pattern and you analyze here the 2021 price action, you would say, hey, we're basically mirroring this and we're not managing to break all-time high. Let me explain later on throughout this video update. This is looking like an extreme corrective move. This is not the same price action that was formed here in October and November of 2021. We finished a move here to the upside and we dropped down pretty impulsively. This consolidation that we're forming throughout the last couple of months is very corrective, and that will be explained here in the next coming minutes. Now, of course, looking at the structure, it is bullish. Looking at Elliott wave theory, the highest probability right now is that we are looking at an expansive fifth wave, where you have your wave 1, wave 2 here, your wave 3, your classic wave 4, which is very long in time, and then your wave 5 right over here. Now, there is a lot of questions, right, looking at this, saying that this could be the end of the wave 5, and now the bear market is going to continue right now in the next coming months and coming years. However, the movement up that we had since the low of April looked very impulsive. So now the question is, what if this is just a wave 1 and this is a wave 2? And you are still inside of a formation of a wave 3, but it's inside of the wave 5 from the higher time frame, from the lows of the bear market of November of 2022. And this looks very, very likely just because the movement up that we had from the lows of April looks very impulsive, and the movement down that we've had from all-time high looks very corrective. Now, there is a bearish case that takes us below $98,000, but overall would still be looking bullish for continuation to the upside. And that's what I want to get to here on the lower time frames, right? So let's talk about the most bullish case scenario, which is actually decreasing in probabilities right now. And you may ask why? Well, I'm here to explain that. Now, what we're looking at here is the end of a three-wave corrective structure from all-time high. It is pretty clear. You got the low right over here, you got that lower high, and then you have a new lower low that was formed on the 22nd of June at $98,000. That is pretty clear. Three-wave correction, and now we're moving up pretty impulsively. When we do analyze the price action on the lower time frame here from the lows of the 22nd of June, we have moved in a very five-wave manner, very impulsive, high volume in the middle when we do take a look at the volume. So very nice movement to the upside. The movement that's formed to the downside and sideways basically looks very corrective, and we've got another leg here to the upside that actually counts very nicely as an impulse. Okay, high volume in the middle on your wave 3, you have 5 waves to the upside, all very clear, all very nice. Now, looking at the most bullish case scenario, what you're looking at here is a double 1-2, and this 1-2 is just part of your lower time frame, wave 3. Okay, so what we would be looking at here is a higher low and continuation to the upside. However, there is a problem here, and the problem is timing. when we do take a look at the timing from your wave 1 and now your possible wave 2, okay, it is important that you do see the timing being 1-to-1 compared to your wave 1, 2-to-1, even 3 times longer than your wave 1 is fine. But when you start crossing 4-to-1, 5-to-1 in timing, which hasn't been crossed yet, but we do have just a couple of days left till we actually form that 4-to-1, 5-to-1 in timing, that would be a little bit overextended for your wave 2. So it is possible that your wave 2 could be in already. But there is another problem. Now, when we do take a look at wave 2's corrective structures, we want a 3-wave corrective structure. Now, we had the leg down, the bounce, and now this movement down that did not take out the low. Now, this is extremely rare for an ABC zigzag. Zigzags, of course, what you're looking at is to take out the low of your A wave. If you don't take out the low in a 3-wave structure, it is extremely rare to happen to get continuation to the upside from here. So this is something that's like, yeah, I'm not too sure of this being the low here and getting continuation to the upside because you did not take out the low of the A wave, right? If we're labeling this as your A wave, most commonly by a lot is actually forming a zigzag and the C wave taking out the A wave, okay? This is very common, even in a flat, right? The 3-wave structure, the C wave taking out the A wave is the most common scenario. Not taking out the A wave is extremely rare. So if this is not going to be an ABC, what are the scenarios if we are looking for a wave 2 and continuation to the upside? Well, what we want to see is that low being taken or some kind of a sideways WXY. And if we are going to be forming a sideways WXY, well, what we want to see here is this being your W, this being your X, that is totally fine. And now you're forming your wave Y. In your wave Y, if you do have a zigzag in W, most commonly you would be forming either a triangle, which is very possible, or the most common scenario would be a flat, which is taking out the highs of X, okay, right over here, and then taking out the lows possibly, unless it's going to be a running flat that does not take out those lows, and then we finally go to the upside. So this is a scenario that could be happening, okay? You have your zigzag W, zigzag X, and now you either form a triangle that could take 1 to 2 days, or we actually take out those highs at 109.7K, and then come and take out the lows at 107.4K. If we are going to be developing this kind of movement, I will be ready to trigger a long position in the Discord and also the signals channel in the Telegram. If you are interested in that, where I'm posting my updates on my trading setups, okay, make sure to join the Telegram. It is the first link down below in the description. So following with this scenario, okay, that is one setup that could happen. Just because of wave 2 to finish with an ABC correction, not taking out the lows of the A wave, is very rare. Now, these are the most bullish case scenarios. Let's talk about the bearish case scenarios locally, which are still bullish. They still look to take out all-time high. Now, first of all, let's talk about this one, where you do have the low formed right over here in that zigzag 3-wave structure. Now, we've had a 3-wave structure to the upside, okay, that could be your wave W. Now, it does look like that we could be forming a triangle. Now, we've got the leg down here from the highs created at 110.5K on the 3rd of July, movement down, movement up, a higher low yesterday, and now possibly a lower high. And if we do form a higher low here, we start getting supported from the lows of yesterday above 107.4K, it could be a triangle. Now, forming a triangle after a zigzag move to the upside could be a possible wave X, meaning that you could be moving up here in a double zigzag. What you're looking for is another zigzag to the upside, and of course, this would be taking out all-time high. So it's going to be crucial. I'll be paying attention to the bullish CVD divergence, the proof of support here, to possibly enter a long trigger, okay, to trigger that long position here at the low mid 107K zone. However, I need a little bit of more information. The structure is bullish. It's a possibility, okay? So I'm just waiting patiently for the pattern to develop. And we form this double zigzag to the upside in a WXY, which in hindsight, we would be forming a larger corrective structure. You've got a zigzag down, another zigzag up, in this case in a double zigzag, to form your B wave here, okay? If we formed a zigzag to the upside here, this is not an impulse. We haven't got a 5-wave structure to the upside, so I wouldn't expect continuation to the upside to hit $120,000 and $130,000. I do think that all-time high could be hit, but overall, it would be choppy, and I would be looking for a reversal here, because on the higher time frames, what we would be looking at is a large ABC flat structure, okay? A lot of information needs to happen in this scenario, okay, because we'll be hitting all-time high, we're going to higher levels, we'll be analyzing the structure here in the next coming days, but this would be one setup, and I don't see this being extremely bullish. And the main reason why is because we moved up in a 3-wave structure here. This is not an impulse, meaning that having massive continuation to the upside with this initial pump that we've had is very rare, okay? Probably a contracting diagonal could be a scenario, but we ain't going to go through that, down that road, okay, because we need a lot more information, okay? So this is one scenario, of course. This would be another bullish case. We're forming a triangle here in wave X, and we would be looking for all-time high, but ultimately not a successful breakout, because what we're looking at here is a double zigzag in a B wave to form that larger flat in the next coming days. What would be the most bearish case scenario that I see available at the moment? Well, that would be this one right over here, where you have formed a 3-wave structure to the upside, as you can see, and right now what we're looking at is a possible 3-wave structure to the downside. We formed our first A wave, our B wave here in the last few days, and now what we're forming is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish that zigzag to the downside in your wave X. This would be the zone that I would be very interested in triggering a long position, because same scenario, we would be looking for a double zigzag where you have a zigzag down and now you have the WXY double zigzag, okay? So what we will be looking at is the potential of hitting new all-time highs regardless if we get down below 105K. Now there is a problem here. If we do break down 105K, the lows from the 2nd of July, well, we do have that point of control. It used to be the point of control, not anymore, because we got new price action and new volume from this range. Regardless, it is the second highest volume node. It used to be the point of control if you do not count this price action. If I do get the fixed volume profile and I count this price action without the one from the last few days, you can clearly see that that point of control is where we got that bounce here from the 2nd of July. Sweeping up that low, there is that scenario looking at the waves and the structure. 3-wave up, 3-wave down, sweep up the lows, sweep up some liquidity. If you reclaim that point of control and the lows created on the 2nd of July, it could be a very long trigger, because we could be looking at this structure developing just days after hitting that low. But we need to see proof of support. We need to reclaim those lows. This is the zone that is interesting for the long, not longing beneath the breakdown. We need to get to see that reaction, get back above 105K, then we can trigger the possible long setup, okay? So there are a few setups, as you can see here, with the different scenarios that could happen. We just don't know which one is going to play out. If we were to move down here to 105K in the next 1 to 2 days, I will be ready. I'm looking for longs, as you can see, okay? So that is most of the scenarios that could be happening here in the next few days, guys. Make sure to stay tuned. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow. If you want more updates, make sure to join the Telegram. And if you are interested in trading, guys, we do have weeks. We do have bluffing. They have insane bonuses. There's still all of those people that sign up, okay? They can claim $100 as bonus if you link your phone number. You also got 25% fee reduction on your trades, okay? And that is with the 4th link down below for weeks. Bluffing is great. You can claim 20% cash back, maximum $500. You just require an email and a password, guys. So make sure to sign up and claim those bonuses down below for these awesome exchanges. Thank you very much for joining today, and I will see you in the next one.